It's good to be here. Good to be here on this lovely day before tax day, as I'm sure everyone who freelances is keenly aware. So let's see. I'm going to share my screen here. It's telling me which. I'm going to choose this screen here. Okay, share. You should be able to see my screen. Please let me know if you cannot see my screen. Everyone can see my screen. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to start right here with this first house, which is in Big Fork, which I am guessing is, let's see here. What do we have here? It's Montana. Okay, so I'm expecting a McCabin here once this loads. You'll have to forgive my internet is slow, especially with Winston. Sorry, Bog. Winston, I'm working. Winston thinks he's the center of attention. It's like that Bloomberg article that they just shared that was like, all of our dogs are being pests now because they think it's going to be like this permanently. Winston, little do you know that hopefully we will recover from the pandemic and you will learn boundaries. All right, so well, of course this looks beautiful, right? It's like in paradise, and all these photos are really high res. Wow, wouldn't you like? I mean, this looks so refreshing. It's like 90 degrees and humid here in DC. Oh wow, this is interesting. Seems like we have a house built by an architect. Certainly, almost undoubtedly, a house built by an architect. We've got our little scrappy green roof with little scrappy grass. Don't know. I'm not a landscape guy, but I'm assuming that this is the rare form of grass known as roof grass, seen only on roof lawns. And it looks like we have, this kind of reminds me of the like California Coastal School or the Pacific Northwest School of Architecture, like Cutler Anderson and stuff like that. Olson Kundig. I like that they're doing the burnt wood thing, but the way that they've done it is kind of interesting, and how they've just kind of done the end of the wood, and looks like they've just stacked a bunch of logs in there as walls, which is very ecological, I suppose. It's funny that I feel like this is going to be like a house that is a greenhouse, and yet there's still a lawn. And we all know how I feel about lawns, and they're ecological problematic. Though you do have to admire the attention to detail, though it seems that the party of this house is wood, and then they just sort of ran with it like that. Though I am partial to this because, you know, I'm used to, when doing these, looking at really heinous houses from Texas. So this to me is actually a breath of fresh air, regardless of whether it's to my personal taste. I do like the weathered look, though. I think it's appealing for a house sort of in the wilderness. The estimated payment on this house is $62,000 a month, which is, sorry guys, that's more than I'm making a year. So I certainly cannot afford to live here. I wonder how well this does as far as like insulation wise. I'm not quite sure how this house comes together, though I do like it. I mean, I think that's like, I've never seen that particular use of wood before. Nice deck, obviously. Would definitely chill here if I had $17 million, which I don't, although I desperately wish that I did. This reminds me of the bedroom that I'm going to be moving into when I move next week, or 2 weeks from now, which is that it's very long on one end and very short on the other. Like, you basically have 20 inches to walk around the bed. And it's good to know that like rich people also cannot escape such a fate. Yes, this is lovely. This is, again, I'm just not quite sure how this comes together in terms of how it's assembled. But I have to admit that this is quite lovely, and the detailing is quite lovely. You get an outdoor shower, very fun. Babbling Creek, you've got your own personal Babbling Creek. I mean, who wouldn't want to live here, frankly? I would ride or die here, just to be quite honest. I've promised attendees on Twitter that I would not swear because I've heard that there are children attending, but I will say that this looks fine as heck. And there's a second house. Okay, this is more to my taste. Not that I don't like eco-modernism or whatever, but I guess I shouldn't call it that. Modernist eco-aesthetic. Eco-modernism is a politically loaded phrase here. But I like this because it kind of looks like a house you would find, I guess, in like Red Dead Redemption or some other like frontier video game. I'm revealing my age here, I think, which is I'm baby. Okay. I don't quite always know how to feel about the whole weathered material thing, because on the one hand, this is a brand new house, right? Perfectly new, in perfect condition. And it looks like it's like been here, it's like weathered the storm already. And I understand that that is intentional, and that is a controlled weathering in a technique used by architects for a while now. But what I don't understand is sort of why. And what I don't understand is the weathering going to get worse with time? Is this not going to look as fresh and clean as it does now? Yeah, the open air, of course. I mean, of course, this is beautiful, though I wouldn't choose the purple egg chair. That's a little too, like, I don't know, like Arne Jacobson chairs are a little too Willy Wonka for me, but I respect it. Again, yeah, I couldn't see any problem living here. I'm envious of that rug, too. Sorry, sometimes I see things and I like them and I have to admit it. Usually I see things that I absolutely abhor. So to be here and look and see, oh, this is lovely, it's kind of frustrating for me. Even though I'm sorry to the person who donated to submit this, that they assumed that I would be destroying it. If you want me to destroy it, I mean, you made a donation. I can definitely go in my, okay, let's freeze frame. We've got all this tasteful modernism, right? This whole time, just like, very meticulous, very architectural, very pristine modernism. And then we get here and we've got McCabin wood bed. This is a common phenomenon here in the McCabin genre, which is that the interior rooms look like a sauna, and the bed has like some weird like cultural appropriation-y like Native American vibes, but it's also like this unfinished wood. It's like, they can't resist. The thing is, like, even with all this money and all this supposed taste that they paid someone else to provide, they cannot resist the wood bed, fundamentally. It's like they cannot resist like the cabin aesthetic in all of the private rooms. So it's very interesting because you can see here, the public image is like we have Arne Jacobson chairs and our house was designed by an architect. But in private, it's goofy quilts and wood bed, which I find fascinating. It's like, stop it. Which I find fascinating personally. Again, I can't really comment on this because frequent McMansion Hell knowers, I guess, would know that I frequently bring up the fact that my parents, who lived in Texas and then moved to North Carolina, decorated our house when I was a child with the Southwestern style in the most 80s/early 90s way possible, which means pink sponge painted walls and like paintings of Native Americans. And the Eagles was always playing in the background. So this has a sort of weird nostalgia for me, but I acknowledge that that nostalgia is problematic. Even though I wish it was all pink teal like their house was. I mean, if you're going to go full tacky, you might as well go full tacky. That's my opinion. All right. And so got like some bunk beds for, I guess, grandchildren. I don't know. I mean, but look at that lake, though. Like, even with the wood bed, I mean, I don't know, if I had all that kind of money, I would absolutely be piecing out here forever and like bird watching for the rest of my life. I would never log on to the internet again if I lived here. I'd be like, time to take up fishing. Time to take up, I don't know, wood carving. Time to take up fishing and wood carving. Time to take up archery. I don't know. You've got like lots of money and you live in the middle of nowhere with a beautiful lake. I mean, look at that. That's totally swimmable. And I guess this is the third house, which is the best one by far, in my opinion. I do like the board form concrete. There's no. But still, they cannot resist doing like the cheesy Montana McRanch thing. It's so funny. Like, as much as like the architect tried to sort of like shoehorn them into taste, they just can't resist. I mean, if these people had their way, they'd have like an antler chandelier. Like they you can tell that's like what is in their soul. They want to like see themselves as like brave pioneers instead of like living in the lap of luxury, which is the ironic tension of the McCabin. Unfortunately. But again, I don't know, man. If I was like living in the wilderness, I would just get buff like fighting a bear. I would totally not have a home gym. I don't want to be reminded of the gym in the wilderness. The gym is my enemy. Nice chef's kitchen, stainless steel counters, which I wish was more popular as a counter choice. It does look a little industrial, but as far as durability, really can't be beat. Butcher block. I think that's, did we get to the end? This is so much house. Usually the listings do not go out on this long. Okay, maybe we did not get to the end. There's like a third house. Holy cow. This is so many houses. They knew they were getting like a 3-for-1 deal. I admire that. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here's where we were. But again, they still have that knobby wood chair. I mean, they can't resist. They simply cannot resist. Nice house, though, gotta say. Like, I would be vibing here, even though it has kind of like weird torture chamber vibes. I would still vibe. Montana girls. Okay. Who wants to bet these people who built this house were like New Yorkers or from Seattle? Okay, see, this is where I would live. I would be fine living in the humble servants' quarters. Like, that's the real little cabin right there. See, that's where they put all their spare wood from the whole endeavor. So yeah, I would just chill there. Are you kidding me? Like, I want to be like Little House on the Prairie. If I'm going to live out there. Okay, but they have like a creepy abandoned like Chernobyl basketball court. Okay. This does keep getting a little, it's like, this keeps getting like a little bit weirder. But I mean, yeah, look at that. I mean, geez. Wow. That's special. Okay, we're back to the beginning. That's probably, I anticipate that might be the nicest house we see all day. So I'm going to just cherish that for a moment while I go to this next one, which is in Minnesota, I think. Oh, Wayzata. I'm sorry. And it's built in 1994. $7 million, 15,000 square feet. You never really know with these Midwestern houses. They tend to be a little extreme. I see. So we are doing ethos modern, fake stucco modern. This kind of looks like those houses they build in like Los Angeles when they destroy like a bungalow that some like tech person decides this is look better. Getting like serious. Do you guys? I guess I'm assuming most of you are American and most of you have seen the Simpsons, but this kind of reminds me of like the Hank Scorpio episode where like Homer goes to work for Hank Scorpio. Anyways, it reminds me of that. It's the same aura. I like when they do like wood floor on the ceiling. Definitely impressive. That's just like wood laminate on the ceiling. I mean, big chunky. I can't tell if this is fake stucco or concrete, but I'm sure it was cheaply built no matter what. This has, you know what this has? This has like dentistry vibes, like dentist office vibes. Very distinct type of vibe. Maybe like, yeah, this is like dentist office vibes, or like maybe middle school vibes. Either way, like both are cursed vibes. Orthodontist office vibes. All of those vibes I don't chill with. I mean, as someone who went to middle school and had braces during the whole thing, no thanks. So let's see. This is, oh God, this decor is so bad. Proof, folks, that money really can't buy taste, unfortunately. And I know that because I'm broke. So let's see here. We've got that couch. Just like, who thought that was good looking? I can't really imagine. It's very like 2006, like Moulin Rouge bling. But like not in a good way. Not in like the Panic at the Disco way, in like the like McMansion way. Just, it's bad. Okay. Moving on. I see we have like the staircase. This has got like architects' fingerprints on it. I feel like when you have a staircase that's bespoke like this, architects were involved, which makes it even more depressing because you would hope that the profession of architecture would be more ennobled than to be doing things like this. What I do appreciate about this particular image here is, one, this is like a lac Ikea table, which is like $8. And then two, they have got like like your dad's like suburban office parks, furniture's pillows on this like disgustingly plum sofa. It's like I've never seen like a leather sofa come in plum before. I don't think they make cows that color. I mean, obviously it's dyed, but I mean, let me have my moment here. Okay, let's go up to this big boy. Oh, we're not even out of this. Okay, this like, I feel like this looks like a bonefish grill or something. Real heads know. Or like just, you know, like you go to like an ex-urban like sushi place in like a strip mall, and like they always have like like a display that looks just like this. And the sushi is like overpriced and like old. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. They really do like just like chunky, ugly furniture with prints that just don't match. Like who like thought that like this diamond print and like leopard print matched? Because it's not me, folks. It is not me. God, that is the ugliest sofa I've ever seen. And I've been doing this a long time. What is with this chair? This is like the chair equivalent of an erection. It's just, oh, it's so bad. This is so tacky. Okay, cool. There's a fountain, I guess, or yeah, normal thing to have in your house. Oh, they're just like in front of their fountain. I guess that's what that is. It looks like moving water. Sounds fun for maintenance. Ugly. Just stop showing me this ugly furniture. I want to get out of this room. I want to get out of the room. Okay, now we've got like B- hotel bar. This is just so tacky. Snakeskin, really? I mean, God, what were they thinking when they made that awful chair? Oh, there's two of them. Okay, we get it. You drink. Let's. What? They've got a martini glass shaped sink. Are we sure this isn't in Vegas? Like, this is like. Oh my God! Look, the little soap dispenser looks like an olive. You know, I'm a martini enthusiast. Right now, I'm drinking Heineken, but I pride myself on my martinis that I make and my knowledge, intimate knowledge of martini as an art form. My sister has called me a martini aunt. And yet, I cannot help but be appalled at this disgrace to the martini as like a noble entity, an art form passed down through time. This insults me as a connoisseur of architecture and of potent gin-based, vodka, no, gin-based artisanal cocktails. It offends me personally. Nice big kitchen, got those stupid waterfall countertops. It's like, cool, I like to wipe this on my countertops too. Okay, you gotta look at like, just like what looks like a dingy lake. I mean, not to insult anybody's lake, but this just like has really terrible, like, it reminds me of like, I don't know, like the Gap in like 2006 or something. Just, I can't even, just, it's like a tackiness from a very specific time frame. And that time frame was like 2004 to 2006, maybe 2007. It's just weird to see. Also, I hate it. I guess the cabinetry is probably new though. I bet this had like maple cabinets in there. I guess this is like their weird like conference room. This is like got like Jeffrey Epstein vibes, I just have to say. Also, just like, what is that wallpaper? Is that like leopard skin wallpaper or like snake skin wallpaper? Just like totally, this is just so tacky. Just like, is that carpet? It almost looks like just like brick flooring, but it's carpet. What is with, why do you need just such stacked candle holders? Like, you just like, oh, I have this big sofa table and I'm just gonna fill it with like giant candle holders. This is like eyes wide shut at this point. I don't even know what to say. God, this is just a whole other tacky living room, but it's like a different kind of tacky. This is like more like Midwestern McMansion tacky. Okay, you've got like a spiral staircase. Cool. Oh, this furniture is so bad. Okay. What is this painting? This girl playing the violin for a headless man. You know, as someone who went to music school and played the violin, this is definitely how I feel about my ex-boyfriends, but like, I feel like this is taking it a little bit too far. The furniture just keeps getting worse. I feel like I'm just cursed looking at everything in here. It's like, the thing that's so bad, it's like, it's so, you know, it's like so expensive, but it's so ugly at the same time. How do they do that? This is like peak like 2006, like Hilton Honors, like wallpaper aesthetic. I feel like okay, my dad's a Hilton Honors member because he travels a lot for work. even, he should retire. He's like 70 and he still works. But this is like totally like hotel wallpaper vibes. Oh, this is so bad. How could they like make a stone wall look so cheap? It's probably because it just looks like they glued gravel onto like a like drywall. I mean, just, is that supposed to be like a faucet? Is that supposed to be a sink? Like, that's like a barrel. This is a great pick, guys. I'm like truly amused. Okay. It's a sink, not a ride at Disney World. Mudroom, but you're not allowed to get dirty. Elevator. Okay, at least they're accessible. We gotta admire accessibility here, folks. Continuing up the staircase. What wonders await us now? God, we are only halfway through this listing. Okay, now we've got like cheesy, like people who have like a lanai and their house is like in Atlanta, like they have this furniture. And this is, I guess, in like Minnesota, which just makes it even worse. Also, like, fun fact, every McMansion ever has this rug. It's true. It's like a weird like slip in the Matrix. They all have that rug. Why is there like just garbage on all of these? Why is there a grass pig? What is with this like Bed Bath and Beyond art? Like, you've got like $7 million and all your art comes from Bed Bath and Beyond. Just like, again, hotel lobby. Every room in this house is a hotel lobby from a different place, all from the same time. I'm so angry. Like, okay, finally, one room you can live in. Why did they have a picture of a waterfall on the TV? It's like, I love when they Photoshop it like this. It's like so funny. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch back to the. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna slip back to the chat to make sure that everyone can see. Okay. Oh God. Okay, good. Everyone's there. The chat is always like really funny. I've done a lot of live streams because we have monthly live streams for my Patreon at the $5 a month tier, and the chat I always feel like is like almost funnier than the commentary. People really come out of their element to like McMansion Hell skills, and it's something that I deeply admire in all of you, and consider a form of great tribute, which I respect. Also, like, what animal died for that bench? Just like, oh my God. Never have I seen a chair that has this much divorce energy. Oh my God. God, I just see, at least the bathrooms are relatively chained, and you know this is like some 2005 stuff, because like, here's how you can tell like the transition between the aughts and the 2010s. In the aughts, people thought it was a good idea for like, I don't know, 5 years or so to have a big TV or like a flat screen TV in your bathroom. By 2007, they'd invented the iPhone. And so like, this was a very short-lived trend, because very soon after that, you could just bring a TV into your bathroom. My new apartment has a soaking tub, which justifies the rent, frankly. I can't explain to you how excited I am, because I spend my days looking at houses like this, which leaves a heavy burden on my shoulders. And so to be able to sit in a big, like, European-style soaking tub is just sublime to me. I don't care how canceled I am. I'm not even going to criticize these people's clothes. That's just a weak argument, but I'm going to steal those white shoes. Those are kind of cool. What? I guess this is like they can just like put giant blinds in their closet. I mean, to be fair, like, I wish I could do that to my clothes. Like, I wish I could just be like, bye. I guess it's like third kitchen or whatever. Oh my God, Green Bay Packers carpet. He's got a hat rack. Guys, we have reached like peak divorced dad energy here. Like, everything in here is like 45 to 50-year-old divorced dad. Also, okay, whatever. Gym, I guess, yeah, go run inside. I don't care. Bowflex. Of course, they have a douchey sailing room. That's just like prep school, like Midwestern kids, like, despite living nowhere near the ocean, even though they live on a lake, like, it's not the same thing. Like, this is like, they try to like Midwestern, like, prep school kids, like, try to act like New England prep school kids. And it's like, you don't even have the ocean. Like, you just have lakes, which are great. Like, don't get me wrong. In fact, they are called the Great Lakes. But Like, your kid doesn't sail. This kid's probably 4. Oh my God, this kid has a bar in his room. The jokes just write themselves, folks. Parental supervision? I think not. Chilling at my boat bar. My boat. They're on Lake Minnetonka, folks. That's where they make the moccasins. I have a pair. They were a Christmas gift, and they're great because I can take the dog out in my slippers. Okay. Of course, there's a canopy bed. There has to be. It's inevitable. I kind of stand the leaf. I'm not gonna lie. I would take the leaf rug. This room is like still got hotel. Like, this has got like Hilton vibes. The whole house just looks like a Hilton, but like from different years in the 2000s. It just keeps going. At least I got a sick pool table. I play pool, so it's like, I respect that. I like how they just have signs that say lake. It's like, yes, we know. It's right there. You can see it from the window. There is, in fact, a lake. I am envious of the pool table, though, because it looks pretty sturdy. Like, you know, you don't have to put like a napkin folded up underneath one leg to keep it even. You know, the game can continue. I like how this was obviously like at one point like a projection TV, and they just had to like kind of like refit it to fit like a modern TV. And that TV is still like 10 years old. It's just, this just keeps going. Fleur-de-lis bathroom, why not? You know what, folks, why not? This whole room is cursed. Like, this whole room looks like the Limited, again from 2006. I know, because I wanted to shop there, but I was still limited to size. This is, again, this just looks like a Hilton. Like, this is a screenshot from like the Hilton website that they uploaded just to trick me, but they can't fool me. You see, I'm an expert. No, I don't want to take a tour of this home, thank you. That was terrible. Okay, finally, okay, Apex, North Carolina, that's where the Target is. I'm from like Southern Pines, North Carolina, so we don't have a Target. We got a Kohl's like a few years ago, and like we have a TJ Maxx now, but we don't have a Target. So Apex is where you go to Target. It's a very important place for my mother. It's a place of pilgrimage for her. I'd like you to respect that as I look at this next house. Respect my mother's Target pilgrimage. Yes, I know you can buy things online, but it's not the same. Oh, Christ. Why? How is this $1.1 million in Apex, North Carolina? For what? You're like on a reservoir. It's not even a real lake. Okay. Man, what to say about this? This is just like they took like a townhouse and just put a turret on it. It's like a tumor. How could they make this look so unappealing? It looks like a grain silo. They screwed up their like crisscross lawn because they decided to use like weed killer on the weeds, like herbicide on the weeds, instead of like, they just like sprayed Roundup, and they're like, oh, it kills grass. It's like, that's not how you kill the grass. It's not how you kill the weeds. This house is just like really dense. And you chop down all those trees just to build like this little piece of garbage. Okay, let's look at the plans here since we have architectural thinking. This is like, I mean, these rooms are huge, right? 19 by 17, that's like the size of my apartment. It's bigger than my apartment. But like, why is this $1.1 million? This, like, to me feels like, I don't know, like a $600,000 house. What are they hiding? Oh, they got that cool Ikea lamp though. Respect that. And that's like the longest Chesterfield I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure that's a bong. Sorry, kids. Ask your parents. Let's see. Yeah, this just like has like restoration hardware aura. Which, like, I mean, oh, that's from West Elm though. I know because I wanted it. And my husband's like, we don't have $1,000 to spend on a bureau. And I was like, oh, but the bureau's like kind of brutalist looking. Like, can I have it? Oh, they won't show the bureau. I was going to justify my desire, but like all desires, it ultimately is unjustified. Let's see. Like, this is like true like Pringles can of shame, which there are not very many true Pringles cans of shame out there. I mean, there's turrets, all kinds of turrets, dining turrets, backyard facing turrets. But the Pringles Came of Shame is like a very specific configuration, which is that it contains the entry and nothing, and the stairwell and nothing else. Like it was just there to be like, it's really just like an overwrought fire escape in a way, where it's just like, this is just an appendage to get from one story to another. Nice kitchen. I hate dark cabinets. Everyone who knows me knows that I hate dark cabinets. I have dark cabinets and I hate them. They just make a kitchen just feel so suffocating. And I really don't like it when they have white countertops either, because it's like that juxtaposition just like, I don't even have a good reason. It just bothers me. I don't like espresso cabinets at all. I like maple cabinets. Like if I want wood cabinets, I want them to be light colored. I have no reason. Again, it's just a very strong aesthetic preference. I can't justify it with any kind of political or like moral justification or practical. I just don't like them. Sorry, folks. Also, I'm pretty sure that was like an Ikea kitchen. Cool, you're on your like retention pond. Got your front gate furniture. This is so depressing. Just totally open. Is that supposed to be like a bedroom? What is it supposed to be? Like an office? Like there's no walls. Love to have privacy. Okay, we're back to the kitchen. Why did they see like the modern like waterfall countertop is like so popular now, but why did they put like a baseboard on there? It just makes it look totally like clunky and unelegant. Reflective penny tile backsplash is not a sentence I thought I would say. Also, what is with these windows? What is this, a drive-through? Like, they got that Wolf stove though. That costs more than grad school. Got a stupid espresso machine. I bet they like care a lot about it. There's the base. I wanted that. That's from West Elm, and I wanted it. I wanted to put my records in there. And my husband's like, "You're not going to take a credit card out to get a stupid sideboard." And I was like, "You're right." And now I feel justified because now it's in a McMansion. I don't want it anymore anyways, even though it's kind of cool and looks like totally brutalist. The lanai. Pretty sure that's cultural appropriation by calling it a lanai. Just call it a porch, for Christ's sake. You're white. White people. Call it a porch. It's a porch. Okay. Got some classic, just dinky windows. Just they're supposed to put a painting or something on there. Like, that's why they made the windows so small. I love mirror faucets. They're so stupid. Like, you're going to get the mirror dirty, just like reaching for the faucet. They look so dumb. Like, it looks like it's flowing both ways. Like, I don't like that. That's not, physics says no. I thought this was still in the bathroom, and I was like, why is there a microwave in the bathroom? This is only a 3-bedroom house, too. It's like, and the bedrooms suck. Like, that carpet is so ugly. Like, just, this is so tacky. This is like classic, like North Carolina tacky, too. Like, people in North Carolina who have lots of money, like, this is like what they do with it. I know, I like lived basically my whole life there. I've only been out of North Carolina since 2016, which I realize now is a long time. Cool garage, I guess. Got a little cabin. No, I don't want to live there. That house was bad. Okay, let's see. Over in Hillsboro, Oregon. $20 million. Oh, this will be fantastic. Oh, it's Business Insider link. Okay, let's see what they say. Atlanta, Georgia mansion. Did I click on the right one? Did I skip one? North Carolina, Oregon, Hillsboro. Nope, it's the same thing. Okay, let's see. And house of the day, a $20 million Atlanta estate with 7 kitchens. Man, I keep kosher, and even I don't need that many kitchens. $1 million rooms. Expensive rooms in the world. At 40,000 square feet. This is an Amazon warehouse. Like, this is an ominous little sidebar here. I'm just gonna assume by this proximity that like this, whoever owns this is in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. Not to slander, don't sue me, but just saying, maybe you wanna, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, it looks like Liberace chic, which is like, once you reach a certain point of like oil money in the US, like this is like your default look. You're like, let's do floor art, let's do red carpet, let's do Versailles. Just like, you know, we as a human race invented the guillotine for a very specific reason. And yet we continue to produce architecture that justifies the use of revolutionary violence. We live in a society, folks. We truly do. All right. What the red furniture? I told you also every McMansion has that rug. I told you. It is the singularity for McMansions. That doesn't make any sense. But every McMansion has that rug. It can't be a mistake. There's like a global McMansion cabal that mandates specific rug use. Also, it's run by Jeffrey Epstein. Let's just say that. Sorry, it's on the brain. Ghislaine, the trial. We'll talk later. All right. I like that these pictures are small because I don't have to see it in graphic, horrible detail. At least I hope they at least paid like the guy who did all this like stupid custom molding like a living wage or something to justify. Like that is just, there's just no excuse for a ceiling like that. It doesn't serve any purpose. Like it's also so funny because like these like monumental ceilings were meant to be like 17 feet tall with like this kind of coffer. And it's like this ceiling is like 10 feet tall. So like nice work, guys. Yes, that classic piece of pre-revolutionary French furniture, the bulky leather sectional. A classic. Man, I don't know what even to call this, like distressed, like Italianate Gothic revival. Folks, this is bad. I hate this. They just invent new ceilings to like, they're just inventing new ceilings to make me angry, to like raise my blood pressure, to make me take a sip of this Heineken TM. Folks. Also, like, for all of the money you spend, can't you just have like decent grout? Like, why is the grout like black? Just like, Zebra Island rug. Free band name. Free band name. Guess this is like a French country kitchen. I don't know from where in France. I'm not a French expert. You know, I really think that like the French should file like a libel suit against whoever named it the French country kitchen. I would, as a country of France, I personally would not want to be associated with this in any way, shape, or form. Again, Mediterranean, Italianate, Gothic-esque. An elegant dining room. Okay, sure, you can call it that. This is like what the inside of like Liberace's mind looks like. Get the rug. I swear I'm not making it up. Also, why are the walls like so shiny? Also, what is this stuff on the ceiling? Is this like supposed to be like stucco or something? Just one of the 11 bedrooms. This is just like the ugliest circus I've ever seen. You know, we've ruled as a society that the circus is unethical for the treatment of animals, and yet it persists in such strange forms. I mean, there's the big tent right there. I don't know what were they trying to do here? Like, what is with these soffits? Are they supposed to like hold like little like statues of like the Virgin Mary and like each one of them? This is like touching on like some deep primal fear I have, specifically of this room. I feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna keep scrolling. I wonder if this house is sold. If it has, I'd be really surprised. This what again? For all of the wealth, everything in here is beige. I feel like that bed is based off of like the tree that like grabs like the car in Harry Potter. I don't know what it's called. I like my Harry Potter literacy is quite low. The home movie theater. All those rooms you like with all those TVs, like you couldn't find a way to watch a movie? No, of course not. Of course not. The courtyard, which is just like so funny because like I guess they skimped on the pool budget because like that thing is pathetic in comparison. An outdoor kitchen. Okay, fine. Why not? It's also beige. The gorgeous courtyard and pool. This looks like Saddam Hussein's mansion, like on the outside. Like it does. It's like dictator chic. It's perhaps you view of an ocean view. See, that's the most reasonable picture I've seen in this whole listing. 33, I don't know how expensive that was. $20 million. Jesus. I feel like that's like, where's this? This is New York. 75 million. Oh. Ah! Oh man. You guys already know how I feel about the vessel. The vessel. It's so funny because like the vessel, for all of it's become like the most hated like piece of architecture in the country. And it's funny because it deserves it, you know. Like usually like it's not like brutalism where you can like find something, you know, interesting or like architecturally stimulating about it. Like the vessel is just like a giant shawarma. It's a giant trash can. I won't even dignify it with the shawarma analogy because shawarma is delicious, but it is just like a giant trash can. I mean, also just like the stairs, just I don't, as a human being, I just don't like stairs. I mean, I just, you know, I trip on stairs. They require energy to traverse. And you've built a monument to them just to spite me. It's really a monument to like global surveillance capital, but like it's also a monument to stairs. Even though there's an elevator, it's still like an FU to like the ADA. Just like by its very existence, it's like you won't have the full experience unless you're taking the stairs. You know, like I've been to the vessel and I saw it in person and it's already like falling apart. This is like the funniest part is that like the glass panes like on the stairs are just, and like the handrails are just like kind of coming like unsealed at the seams and whatnot. Like the whole thing is like shiny and it already has like grubby fingerprints everywhere. And I don't even know how they did that. Like how they could reach, I guess they just like reached over. I don't know. But the whole thing is just like, looks like it just like got harassed by a toddler with ice cream on their hands. I mean, the whole thing is already like not looking so hot. Like the landscaping is dying. I mean, really just a farce. It's so sad though, because like the High Line, as much as I'd like despise it as like a progenitor of like global real estate capital in like the Chelsea neighborhood of New York City, which used to be cool, like way before I was alive, was it at least like that has like merit as a public park and is like enjoyable to walk along as long as you don't trip on people taking selfies with their, like their Instagram boyfriends. But like the vessel, there's like nothing enjoyable about it, and the whole experience is just people taking pictures of themselves on it. It's like, I swear, like if I came up with like if I came up with like a satire about like modern like New York, like my editors would be like, sorry, that's too on the nose, like Instagram beehive, sorry, that's just like, I just can't believe that would happen. And yet so that's my little bit on the vessel here while we're here. All right, we're almost like halfway through here. Let's see. Okay, Quebec. Finally, we're getting out of this dreadful country and into a different country that is further north and has universal health care. So at least if I faint from seeing this, if I were in Canada, at least I could get treated without like having to pay millions of dollars. Oh, this is lovely. Oh God, what did they do to the inside? This is like a beautiful house. Beautiful. Oh, no, I don't want to allow my location. Oh, they did a dumb dormer on it. I know that this is going to be très, what's the opposite of chic in French? Très not chic. But the outside has like, it's a lovely house. Look at that, like, you know, Roman brick. Beautiful, like, this is like a beautiful, like, Italianate house, like 19th, maybe early 20th century. Stunning, like, these open gables with the extended eaves. I mean, this was a beautiful house once, and I do not want to know what they've done to it. All right, can I see some pictures here? Okay, I can scroll down. Okay. Let's mount. Okay, can I see the pictures? Is there pictures? Okay. Does the picture make me oh, let's get in touch. No, I don't want to get in touch. I want to see the house. Oh, view gallery. Okay. Sorry, I'm not rich enough to know how to operate the Sotheby's website. 3D tour. I don't know. I don't have that much bandwidth here. We're not operating with that much bandwidth. We'll just go from here. Okay. All that money, and you had to like Jokerify. This house is like Jokerfied. It looks like the Joker from like the Batman animated series. Not even like the cool, like dark Joker, like the cartoon Joker. Again, money does not buy taste. Okay, this one looks more like Captain America. I do like that rug though. And I do like these antique bureaus. This is quite handsome. This is like probably like 1920s. And then this one I can't see well enough to say, but it's probably from the same era. Lovely antiques, of course. Why they blue sponge painted the walls is beyond me, but okay, now we're back to like, okay, so now we're in like McMansion furniture here, which like, I don't think it's fair to call this a McMansion. I think this is like an unfortunate mansion accident. Yeah, I don't know why this looks like the lobby to like a B-70 skyscraper, but it does. That's where they put the piano. Of course, they got these. The white couch as a phenomenon eludes me because I don't know about you, but I like to do things on my couch, like sit in jeans and eat and drink occasionally. And the white couch precludes that. See, I have a noble teal couch that was $300 at Wayfair. I guess this is a fountain of some sort, a reflecting pool. It looks empty. I like that this is like a snowy day because it shows that this house has been on the market at least since one winter. But yeah, lovely floors, obviously. Why did they do like this rounded shape? This is just such terrible 2000s decor too. It's just like, I've seen so many interior design books from like 2001, like 2002, where they still have like vestiges of the 90s, like this, like sort of like soft, like Martha Stewart, like transitional style. But like there was like an adage in like every book for some reason in like the early 2000s that was like paint your dining and or like living room red because it incites passion or something. Why do I want passion in the living room? But they're like, it makes a bold statement, and it's like, man, that color gives me agita. I don't want agita when I'm dining. There's enough. If I'm in the formal dining room, there's probably already enough agita going on. Because that means like my extended family is there. Wallpaper and matching drapes. See, this is like vestiges of like the late 90s. But like this was like I remember books like saying like this is how you do wallpaper tastefully. And it's like, there are ways to do wallpaper tastefully, but frankly, this is not it, no matter how subdued. And this is despite like the bold print, this is relatively subdued wallpaper. Also, I feel like the chairs and the table don't match. Do admire the old fireplace though, that's nice. Yeah, this is a nice kitchen actually. This is like kind of like a kitchen that I personally like. I can't attest to like the taste of others, but I like maple cabinets. I stand by that like wholeheartedly. And this is like what like people in the 90s thought like modernism was. They thought it was like these like weird little like space age lighting fixtures and like maple cabinets with no fittings, no hardware. I do like, however, the red painted butcher block island. I would have that in my house personally, and that giant fridge, obviously. Like that I respect. This is like a period 80s kitchen, or like late 90s modern kitchen. Got some this is like, I can't explain it, but that staircase is like suave. Don't ask me to elaborate, but again, red in the dining room. Here we go. Also terrible furniture. See, now this is wallpaper I can appreciate because like you just like went all out with like your weird like tassel wallpaper. That I respect. Like that makes a statement. Like you made a choice. And I respect that. Also, I think it looks good with the black trim. Black is an underrated interior color. Now, it's very hard to pull off, but in like a small space like this where like you know it's going to be small anyways, you might as well embrace it. Also, like everyone who has like ever done a McMansion Hell live stream knows that I like the black toilet, which I think is cool. I think it looks cool. I think it looks like 80s future to have like a black toilet and a black sink. That is an unpopular opinion. I understand that. Winston. Stop it. He hates not being the center of attention. What the hell is going on in here? Winston! Stop it. Yeah, go lay down. No, I'm not petting you. Go away. Stop that ruffin. Dog. Man, what went on here? This is like Frank Gehry does the suburbs. This is terrible. Winston. Winston. Don't make me shut the blinds. That's right. Calm down, little wolf. All right. Also, that bed is really weird. Man, this is just a weird room. Like, nothing in here matches, and it's just, I've never seen it. It's, like, really weird. Also, baseboard heating in Montreal. It gets cold there. That's not going to suffice. You had all this money to do this house, and you did baseboard heating? Folks. Also, the curtains don't even match. What is with this Big Ten-ass thing up here? Man, this is just, to use an archaic term, this is just whack. Weird tub. Marble steps after getting out of the bath just like sounds like a bad time, especially with no handrail. I would just like be like slinking on the ground, like trying not to fall and hurt myself. Just speaking from personal experience getting out of the bath. Man, this is like the Beetlejuice room. Though I do like the art selection with the wallpaper. Like, they should have only done it on one wall, though. Maybe half the wall. But again, they made a choice. And at least I respect. Okay, what are you doing, man? This is like the Ann art of like tile. It's like the stupid digitexture that everyone was doing in like 2006. Like, you know, not that I like our current stylistic choices with regards to architecture, but they are better than what came before. And a lot of the ways are actually just the same, but I don't even have anything to say about that room. Totally neutral to it. Man, this house just has so many rooms. It didn't look like that big a house on the outside. This is just like some clown wallpaper. Just okay, that's cool. Sorry. Cancel me if you must, but like the cool like plastic airplane ceiling, that rules. The creepy portraits of generals, that does not rule. But I do respect that. That's kind of cool. That's like the only cool thing in this house. This is very 90s. Just like the wall color, the quilt, everything. Very 90s. Okay, now there's a room they just don't even use. Probably because they put that stupid dormer on that house just for a room that makes no sense and is ugly. Ruin a perfectly good house composition. To put like, oh, and an ugly bathroom. Okay, perfect. Great job, guys. The baseboard heating is just so funny. I'm sorry. Like that, they're like, this looks great, guys. We'll never be able to like put a piece of furniture against this wall. Just the technology just wasn't there. Nice skinny pool for some reason. Normal pool. Just, is there even a backyard in this house? Like, I do kind of like the skinny pool though. I see that they did the addition. I don't actually think the addition is that bad. I mean, I can't see it from all angles, but from this angle, it looks fine. As good as like an addition done in like the 90s would look. The outside is the nicest part of this house. Somehow they fit a 4-car garage in here. Normal. All right, well, that's the end of that house. All right, and now we've got a different part of Quebec. The proof that Canada is a British territory lies in the fact that, of course, the British with the country house invented the McMansion back in the 16 and 1700s. And then they exported that tradition to all of their colonies, except for the African ones, which they didn't consider worthy of such estates. And so hence Britain, I would consider Ireland a colony of Britain. I think they did some colonialism there. Now that's a hot take, but we'll get into that. Australia, Canada, and the United States, all the English-speaking colonies have McMansions. And this is just further solidifying that proof. This is so tacky. I don't even know where to start. First of all, it's like this weird, like Mediterranean style McMansion. I say Mediterranean because it's this freak combination of like Greek and Italian and Spanish. They're not even on the I don't know. Like, yeah. It's just vaguely Mediterranean aesthetic. It looks like an Olive Garden. This terrible, like, mass-produced statue. Like, okay, fine. Well, I'm gonna try and blow through this here. $5 million. Just like, you can pay me to live in there. I'm sorry. All right. I'm not quite sure what that material is. It looks like marble, but I feel like it might be wood veneer that looks like marble. It's kind of neat. The dueling spiral staircase is like not neat. Also, just like stupid pillar. Just like, I mean, for some people who purport to love like the classical proportions in architecture, surely did not understand them at all. Yeah, normal like Greek thing to have like is like a huge garage. At least it's symmetrical. That's all I'll say. But like, what is with the tacky statuary, man? What is this, a garden center? Like, I feel like some gnomes would be an improvement. This is so Pomo too. Like, just like this big like haunty arch here with like this stupid keystone, like, and then with this, it's not even a transom. It's just like a niche. Very Pomo. But these stupid the windows this is so tacky. Like, I hate these McMansions. Also, like, all of this is prefabricated. In fact, I'm pretty sure it might just be stucco. Either stucco or concrete. It's definitely not stone. Winston, sit down. Welcome to my palace. Sorry, this has Jeffrey Epstein vibes, too. They have to make it so marbly. Like, what is this? Doesn't even hold this up properly. Like, it's at the middle of like this soffit. It just doesn't make any sense. So why do the cupids look like they're jerking off under a towel? Okay, normal place to have a piano too. I mean, yeah, that it has the range. Home on the range. Pretty sure this range is like the same size as like my living room. Well, who needs that much stove? And also, why an island format? Not to mention the other like tacky decor decisions here. They've spent a lot of money in making this house like just as tacky as possible and stuck in like a very specific time period's idea of what like the Romans made their houses look like. Like this pediment is like totally Pomo, and they're like, this is antiquity to me. Man, this is so ugly. They couldn't even center the pediment over the fridge. Like, just like, sit down. Dogs. No, I'm not petting you. I feel like these columns are plastic. This is like plastic painted to look like marble. I'm not quite even sure that the floors are marble. I feel like they're also plastic. This is so gross. This is just like... Did you read like The Fall of the Roman Empire one time and then you're like, this is my house. Guess I'm gonna turn this into the house. Dude, okay. Built-in aquarium. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm pretty sure, like, these people are, like, holding someone hostage in here. Like, this has just, like, the Clue Mystery Mansion vibes now. It's like murder was committed here, and you have to go around the house in search of clues. So, like, if you press, like, the nipple of that statue, a hidden wall appears, and that's where you find the rope, which is where what the butler used to commit the murder. I believe it. Wholeheartedly. Why would you paint I feel like these are like those Twitter accounts where they're like that, like just like tweet pictures of like ruins, and they're like Western man. Like that was like their architect. They were like, look, they memorialized their bathroom. Okay, let's like, what does it say? Something about the School of Hard Knocks, which I'm pretty sure was not a Roman text. Dude, you just gotta have to like you have to go. Imagine like having to go to the powder room, despite the cool black toilet, and then you have to read like a bootstraps, like pull yourself up by your bootstraps missile on your like while you're sitting on the potty. Like it's just so unfair. Not convinced that these aren't real bricks. I'm pretty sure they're foam that's painted to look like bricks. Actually, nothing in this house is real. Cool iMac room, dude. I see. You can see into the living room through the fish. Guess they took the fish out of there. They just left the aquarium. I wonder what they did with the fish. I don't want to think about it. Same thing the butler did with the rope. These are just clown chairs. Like, these are chairs for clowns. This whole house is for clowns. They've got, like, they put, like, a little poker table, like, on a stage for clowns. Because they're clowns. They're performing clown stuff. Oh, my God. Like, the Hellenistic, like, urn paintings on the ceiling. What is this, like, the Disney Hercules ride? Like, and guys, you really picked some terrible ones here, but there's nothing out there, Winston. It's the wind. I hope they at least paid the people who painted all those like naked babies on the ceiling well. That's all I can say about that. God, this is so many pictures in this listing. And it's all worse. Now this one looks like the White House, like the Oval Office. Step into my quarters where I keep my ugly clothes. God, what clothes do these people wear? Oh my God, the clothes are also tacky. I'm sorry, this is justified. What is with the tiny chair? Is that like for their dog or something? Oh my God, the handbag wall. They've got trophies. I guess those are participation trophies in the horrible ills of whatever they've done. I guess rich people probably have like, oh my God. Dude, the fake Roman fresco jacuzzi room. Man, what do you even say to the fake Roman fresco jacuzzi room? It's like my own personal hell. Like, I commit some great sin and I wake up and I'm in here. And, like, I know something bad is going to happen. Like, the vibes in this room are just so ominous. Peter Zimmer could never. Architecture joke. God, really? They just, like, must have busted up an entire quarry just to make this house. Oh, my God, there's not even a real door on the jacuzzi room. There's just curtains. Oh, this is so Jeffrey Epstein. Dude, I bet whoever, like, built this house like has wired money to like Little St. James. It has that aura. It's so sinister. Oh my God, freestanding open bathtub with like towel stand in a living room with naked statue with sunglasses on. I'm sorry, this is like the most Jeffrey Epstein thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, this is just like, are they trying to be funny? It's like, is there attempt at humor? Do they just bathe in front of their guests? Like, eyes wide shut. Eyes wide shut. Eyes wide shut. Is this just the like a bathroom? I don't know. I don't know what's it. Oh, it's the bedroom. Okay. Still, what the? It's the bedroom. I'd like to take a bath in peace. God, how many classical motifs can you fit in 1 square foot? Like in like this many square foot. And to be fair, this is probably 1,000 square feet or something. I'm just kidding. It's probably. I mean, it's definitely. Yeah, it might be. I mean, it's over 500 for sure. Why would they do this? Do they think this looks good? Did they think that like they're like the group? Oh my God, like bonus mansion, bonus McMansion. I mean, all of this is just done to impress their like McMansion neighbors. Again, like Oval Office vibes. Like, oh my God, they couldn't even get on, even on like the, even on their like trompe l'oeil like painting, they couldn't get the columns right. Man, I took graduate seminars in like Greek and Roman architecture when I was in graduate school. I'm just like so affronted. This is offensive to me. I went into student loan debt just to feel pain. You can see how they're like not aligned actually, and that's so funny. Crooked ass room. Oh my god, this is so long. Okay, we gotta speed this up. Some of these are not worked out. See, normal bathroom, normal bathroom. Only normal thing in this house is this bathroom. Ponder that. Say that's not incriminating. They put a mask on the candle. That's definitely like some pedophile code. Definitely Jeffrey Epstein. It's the work Epstein work here. Oh my god, look at all of these McMansions. This one's so bad. Oh my god. No, we gotta like they tried to like make modern this one. Oh my god, look at this like nub in here. Man, imagine just like having this like view of like all your other neighbors like crappy houses. Like I'd be so offended. Water damage deck. Okay, cool. Oh, all that, and they've got a puny pool. You couldn't have sacrificed 1,000 square feet to build a real pool. You cowards. Sorry, this is not safe for children. I'm gonna just keep going here. Oh, this is the last picture. What a parting shot. Wow, my life is worse having seen this house. Oh, it's Obama's house in Martha's Vineyard. Okay. Dude, why do they have to? This is so funny because like their faces in this picture is exactly how I feel about their house in Martha's Vineyard. Thank you, Obamas. Thanks, Obama. He's like, howdy, folks. You know, we live in uncertain times here, and I'm just going to retreat into my big mansion in Martha's Vineyard. You know, climate change is going to own this thing, just so you know. Too bad he didn't really do anything about that. See, the thing about this house is that it's just too much house, both like from like a political standpoint, but also from just like an architectural standpoint. When you have to put so much house into one house, like there's only so many ways you can allocate the space in a way that is redeeming or aesthetically complete. And this house does neither. It just kind of like weaves in and out and is just like wings attached to wings. There's not even like a main mass you can point to. It's literally just like a bunch of wings joined together. I guess like the main house is like here, and then this is just like a series of extensions. Kind of like the sandworm of houses. Dude joke. Of course they have like a dog bowl built in. Is it so hard to pick up your dog's bowl and give him water? Do you need to have a built-in dog bowl? I mean, the funny thing about this is that like it's just so bland. Like it's so devoid of anything of substance. Oh, it is so tempting to just make nonstop political jokes here, folks. But I know not everyone who signed up agrees with me politically, and I would just rather not delve into something that would cause conflict. So I'm just going to focus on the house, which is why is everything so bland? Why, like, these are like nondescript. I feel like these are like generated by like an AI. It's like this person does not exist of like house interiors. This is why do these pictures so threatening? Like, why do they make this picture look just so ominous? The lighting is just so scary. Like these like supports look like they're just gonna like fall in like it's like a booby trap or something. Why do they have a metallic pool table on tapered legs? But only two of them. Why are only why is everything white? Okay, nice bathroom though. That good privilege too. I'm pretty sure the Obama's children are like too old for bunk beds, so I would not say that those are for them. I don't know why they would have children staying over in bunk beds. I don't think they have grandchildren yet. Nice beach though. Hot tub, second floor balcony. Well, that's nice. See, from this angle, this house looks normal if it stopped here, but it keeps going forever and ever and ever. It's like, this is just the second floor balcony. I mean, what? 2-car garage. See, this house just like weird. It's like literally the sandworm of houses. Like it's gonna go back in the dirt. Like I hate this house. The house they bought in Chicago is worse though. my opinion. Because that one pretends not to be a mansion, and it is. At least that one owns the fact that it is a mansion. I like how this one says it's a California, Los Angeles, 3.7 million, ugly beach house. This is promising here. Now you know that when they open up with an interior photo, they're hiding something. And it's usually that the house is ugly. You know, all the design within reach furniture you put in this house, although I do see some Wayfair in here, does not change the fact that it is probably ugly. Though I do appreciate the light colored wood floors, of course. Nice pool. See, I'm not getting any sense of like, this house looks neutral to me. I'm not yet, I can't, see, if I don't see the outside of a house, it's hard for me to like read the inside of the house. But I don't like that they just glued like kitchen tile backsplash on like an entire wall. I dislike that. White kitchen in like the like design milk way, or like the design way, not in the HGTV way. Still a white kitchen though, which I just don't like on principle. Even though the apartment I'm moving into does in fact have a white kitchen. I have to confront my fears. All right. This looks like a nice kitchen though. I mean, I like that kitchen, even though it's like kind of too spare for my taste. Yeah, we've seen this room. Okay, dining room. Again, they just put a bunch of expensive furniture in like really nondescript spaces that I like cannot like make any aesthetic judgments about, because I don't know where they fit in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, that's a nice room. What does it, but like, some of this furniture also looks like 3D, but again, just all like, that's like my coffee table. I have the same table except for mine is like stretched out to be like much longer. And I bought it for $125 at the, it's not a George Nelson bench, but it has like that George Nelson feel with like tapered legs and stretches like it's like 70 inches or something, 75 inches. I mean, it's really long. Nice bathroom, nice tub. See, this is like, as I don't know how ugly this house is. That lamp is from West Elm, and so is the bed. I don't know how ugly this house is on the outside, but sorry, compared to like the Romanesque hell that we just went through, this is a breath of fresh air for me. Sorry to say. Perfect. I feel like this is like a nice house. I don't know. It's like kind of generic and boring, and like the whole thing looks like it's orchestrated by like a salesperson at like Design Within Reach in West Elm, but I mean, it's a nice house. Still don't like that wall though. Yes, they keep showing me the same rooms over and over again. I mean, yeah, nice balcony. Nice. Oh yeah, love the tub. Classic tub. Nice art photography, I guess. Yeah, I would totally chill in that tub. Are you kidding me? Even though it faces the street for some reason. Always time in my schedule to develop a taste for voyeurism if it means having a really big tub. Okay. To all that, and you just have like wall-mounted AC units. That's so funny. Okay. I think this is like maybe the guest house, which like, that's nice. They have a guest house. This is really a nondescript house. Just show me what it looks like on the outside. I'm not a fan of that tile though. This stone. It's tacky and it looks cheap. Yes, I know it has a tree. I know it opens out to the outside. Like, let me see. This is like such a, okay, there we go. This is like a classic, like, it's not a McMansion. I would say it's just like a well-intentioned rich person. That's an oxymoron. It's a rich person trying to do modernism. And like, to them, modernism just means floating cubes. And so they've done the floating cube thing to the best of their ability. This is an inherently West Coast problem. Maybe Florida too. House is boring. That's really its main crime. It's not architecturally interesting. It's literally just two cubes stacked on top of each other, which you can't blame them for trying. I mean, But at $3.6 million, I would want it to be a real modernist house and not like the weird car commercial version of modernism. All right. Now this one is this is also Los Angeles. Oh, this is 1999. Okay, this is definitely a McMansion. I feel like the California McMansion is a dying breed. Oh, this one sold for $19 million. It sold on June 11th of this year. Somebody got their Corona check and was like, I know exactly what we're going to spend it on. I wish I. Okay, so you can actually see inside of here. All right, I'm just going to skip over here. Yeah, that's terrible. And also the photo is just like really screwed up in terms of the resolution. So, but I mean, it's classic, like, I mean, fake stucco, like ugly topiaries, like weird, like French chateau aesthetic. Okay, this is not helping me. Got a tennis court. That's cool. This is also not helping me. Okay, there's the front. Okay, this is okay. Let's see if we can get. Yeah, I don't think this listing is gonna work. These photos are just too small and like too. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. Sorry. I'm sorry. If someone can find. This is terrible though. I mean, I wish we could see bigger photos. These are so tiny. I like, even with my reading glasses, like I can't make out. I mean, it looks terrible. Just for the record, like, it looks awful. Okay, that's a normal size photo. Okay. Okay. Oh. Why would they do this? Okay, nice pool. Really jealous of the pool. Why would you put indoor chairs outside? I don't know. Those are definitely indoor chairs, though. I guess for staging. Why is there only like high-res pictures of like the back deck? That's not fair. I want to see the ugly rooms. They did this on purpose. They knew we were coming. They knew we would try to derive joy from this. And we can't. We've been circumvented. Looks, oh, that's bad. Like, what's the green color too? It's like, it's supposed to be tan, but it came out green. It's like kind of nauseous. The color is nauseous. Okay. 1983, Manhattan, New York. Okay. 721 Fifth Avenue. Wonder what building this is in. This is tacky. Actually, I'm going to try and see what building this is in. So I can... Oh, it's in Trump Tower! I knew that address sounded familiar. That's so funny. Also, there's tons of condos for sale in there. That's so funny. Holy cow. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. That gives me some perspective. I could have just read the real estate listing, but yeah. See, this is exactly the kind of person I imagine like wanting to live in Trump Tower. Like, they think they have taste, but their taste is like an ugly red shag rug with a very clashing purple. This looks like a Valentine's Day card, like in architecture. I'm definitely kind of into like the weird glass 80s deco table, but I mean, this is terrible. Like, everything is mirrored because like everything in Trump Tower, it's perfectly attuned to the sense of vanity, which is like what you pay for, you know? It's like, I don't know, if I looked like Trump, like I wouldn't want to look at myself. I like already don't want to look at myself, and I'm very attractive. We live in a society. I like how each room has like a different ugly purple sofa. Like this sofa looks like, reminds me of like the Flintstone vitamins. Like it's chalky. This is so tacky. Oh, the tiny kitchen. Classic like Manhattan condo kitchen though. I mean, not that anyone can afford Manhattan condos anymore, but I mean, when you don't cook because you're so freaking rich, you don't even need a kitchen. It's just there for show. What else would I expect from like Trump Tower except for to have mirrored furniture and like lucite chaise legs and like giant you can't even sit on that thing because there's this humongous alligator print pillows. This is exactly what I would expect out of Trump Tower. It's gonna like sit on here and then just kind of slither into the tub, I guess. Since I guess this opens on a hinge, but that other way sounds more fun. They're missing some drawers here. I'm kind of concerned. I think you might have like a Manhattan drawer thief on the loose. Let's see here. Why does this look like it's made out of particle board? Nice view. Winston, sit down. Got a nice view of MoMA Tower. Hate MoMA Tower. Man, Diller Scofidio and Renfro. Such potential in the 90s. What happened? I can't think of a single project they've done that I've liked since like 2005. For perspective, I was in the 5th grade in 2005, so I wasn't alive during the period in which they did good work. Isn't that sad? Weird floor plan, but you know, comes with the territory. Oh, that was enlightening. That's so funny. Brentaga. Chicago, my new hometown. Brentaqua. Oh, Aqua Tower. Live in an architectural icon. Man, only in photographs. I hate Aqua Tower. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jenny Gang stands. Sorry, Chicago. I remember, here's my Aqua Tower story. First time I went to Chicago, I was a junior in college. I was running away with a man who was 12 years older than I was. He is a PhD student at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. He was studying electronic music. My parents just like let me run off with them. I don't know. They were like, "Oh, we like him. He was like 7 foot tall and like a professional swimmer, and like just like he could like kill someone with his bare hands." His name was John. He was crazy. Anyways, like for all of his faults, and there were many. I mean, he was crazy. John and I spent a great week in Chicago looking at all the sites. We did the whole like Oak Park, Frank Lloyd Wright walking tour thing. We saw every Frank Lloyd Wright house in Oak Park. And then we went into the city and like we did the Riverwalk and we did all this other stuff, which is very important to me as like young Kate Wagner, not yet McMansion Hell Kate Wagner, trying to, because like I loved architecture. I'd always wanted to be in Chicago. I always wanted to live in Chicago, like to see all this stuff for the first time, like with a guy, like semi-eloping, fell through, but you know, pretty exciting, pretty memorable trip. And so we were like, okay, what about Aqua Tower? I said, well, as we were in like his rented Honda Civic. And he was like, oh, I hate Aqua Tower. And I was like, why? And he's like, you'll see. Like, you've seen the pictures, right? And I was like, yeah, it looks sick. It looks like the Wave Tower. And he's like, okay, we're going to drive up Lake Shore and like see it from below. And folks, it does not hold up when you're looking at it dead on at all. It just, the sort of undulating effect does not actually work from all angles. Not that that's like, you know, a detriment to like Jenny Gang or whatever. I think that's just like an architectural limitation. But also as someone frightened of balconies, like never been really a fan. But I mean, I was shocked at sort of just like how much in real life it did not look like it did in the photographs, which for me is like an instant turnoff for architecture. Now, this can be a pleasant sensation, all right? I admit. Like when I went to France and I saw the Villa Savoie for the first time, I was pleasantly surprised that it was small. Like it looks really big in the photos, but it's actually a small house. Like, and the proportions are small, which a lot of people don't like especially like architecture critics. But considering almost all architecture critics are men and none of them are 5'3", see, I found the Villa Savoie to be very cozy and built to someone of my exact stature. So it's how I feel about Frank Lloyd Wright's houses too. Because he's like, he does, you know, like the compression and expansion when you go in through the entryway and it's like all low ceilings and then he expands into like a larger room. Well, I like that because it's cozy to me because I'm short and so is Frank Lloyd Wright and so is Le Corbusier for that matter. So like, it's not fair to say that they're too small. You're just tall. Separate rant. But Aqua Tower, does not really look like it does in the photographs. And I went recently when I was in Chicago apartment hunting, just looking because I was walking around, everything was closed. There was nothing else to do but look at buildings, waiting for like apartment showings. And so I was walking and I looked, and it's just like the glass is so they make it look like seamless and like just like this sort of like river of glass coming through these like undulating forms, and it doesn't look like that. It just looks like glass windows. It doesn't look like it does in the photographs at all, which bothers me. I think architectural photography is an art, obviously. And honestly, the goal of a lot of architectural photography, a big subset of which is real estate photography, is to make the building look good. That's why brutalism is such a popular subject, because like if you just make the pictures black and white, the buildings look very striking. In color, they don't hold up as well, mostly because of matters of maintenance, but that's a totally other debate. But the problem is that architectural photography, like all photography, even though you can consider like sort of like surrealist photography, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like depictions of things that exist in real life should bear semblance to those things which they are pictorial representations of. And a lot of architectural photography, especially when it comes to like big starchitecture buildings, like, you know, like Disney Hall, for example, or like the Guggenheim in Bilbao, or like the Shed or the Vessel, the goal is to make it look glamorous because its whole reputation is as an art object to be consumed by a spectator who will never be able to really fit amongst its preferred clientele, to be quite frank. With the exception of concert halls. I mean, I think concert halls are a little bit different, but that's because I studied them and it's a little personal. But Aqua Tower and, you know, the Shed and like so many of these other like big monumental like starchitecture buildings that end up on the covers of like all these magazines and get so much press, and I'm giving them airtime right now, contributing to the problem, they do not hold up in real life. Now, that's not like, I'm not even saying that this is a problem with like Jenny Gang, because I personally think that the Writers Theater, which is the Jenny Gang building, is one of the finest performing arts spaces built within the last 10 years. But the problem is I think Jenny Gang, like Peter Zumthor, who's also in the news recently, and even like, you know, Renzo Piano, like these are architects who work best on a smaller scale. When they have to integrate, like, for example, cultural centers, things like that, things that require like a large and complex program involving art storage, curation, coat storage, like, or like a, you know, apartment building that's a whole other, hotels, whole other thing. They can't expand their aesthetic vision and hone detail, of which they are so renowned for, to buildings of that scale. Sometimes they get successful. Zumthor, there's no success stories at the large scale for him. That's why he mostly works at the small scale. That's why LACMA is a total disaster. Jenny Gang can do all right at the medium scale. Like the Writers Theater, I would say, is a medium scale project. But Renzo Piano has once in a while done a good large scale building. The New York Times Tower is a good tower. It's a good skyscraper. The front, like the metal screen on the front is wonderful. The courtyard in the middle is like visually stunning, and I've only seen it from the Muji on Fifth Avenue, RIP. So I think that it is possible, but there's a certain way of scaling up your ideas. Now, he's not successful at that with the Shard, for example, the Shards, which is a clunky building to say the least. It's just too big for him. I mean, part of being a successful architect, not that I am one, but I am an architecture critic professionally, is knowing your limits and knowing that at which you excel and staying within those limits. And it's very hard because architecture is obviously a business. Obviously, it comes with like great reputational stakes. It's very hard to just live within those limits. It's very hard to be renowned with this thing. So some architects do it so successfully. Like look at like the house builders on the Pacific West Coast I mentioned before, Olson Kundig, Cutler Anderson. They're great at doing houses, single family residences, cabins. Like they excel at that. That's what they're known for. They have never pushed those boundaries. And they are loved for it. They didn't like do a huge cultural center was a screw up. I mean, architecture is about risk, but some of those risks are calculated and some of those are not worth taking. And I know because I know people who work for those firms, And like when you can't commit to a project of those scales, like it really is all hell for the employees who have to make it come alive, because architecture is not just like Renzo Piano drawing on a page. It's Renzo Piano drawing on a page and handing it to like a team of like designers who have to make it happen. And this is like a whole multinational firm that has to be able to execute these ideas. So it's not fair to say like Renzo Piano is a bad architect. It's that his firm is known for doing specific things very well. And he has some hits and misses regarding certain shortcomings, like scale, like complex programs. I mean, that was a long rant to say I don't like Aqua Tower. So I just wouldn't want to live in downtown Chicago. It's like living in the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. It's kind of sterile. I mean, the apartments obviously look nice though. Like that's a nice looking kitchen. But yeah. Like I said, 221. Okay, this is a Google Drive folder, so I'm gonna see if I can open it. Access denied. If you sent me this, send it to me as Kate at McMansionHell.com and give me access. All right, this is a Google Maps link in Canada. I love this because whoever sent me this is like, okay, I have this cute block that's like a pleasure to live in, and someone just did this crap on the corner. And that's totally valid. This is like a terrible pop top job. I mean, look at these cute little like row houses and townhouses here. Some single family detached. But this is like obviously, so like they just built like a big honkin' like addition onto this one. Really, I guess these are separate houses, but they look attached. Like, imagine being this guy. Like, you live in like this like cute little normal house, and then someone builds like this like ugly like fake stucco behemoth, like trying to do modernism, but it's like vinyl siding up here with can lights. Like, really terrible hack job. See, this is like why if you're going to invest in like hiring someone to do your house, you should really like invest in it. Like, nobody with any common sense would be like, oh, we're gonna do fake stucco and like vinyl siding like this. It's a totally, it's ugly. I mean, it's cheap. It looks so cheap. And it's like, I know for a fact that like real estate in Toronto is not cheap. And the worst part is it like wraps around here. It's just like, this is like totally a McMansion. Like maybe not in scale, terms of like their McMansion's definitely bigger than this, but this is like the McMansion attitude where it's like, screw everyone else, I'm gonna do whatever I want and it's gonna suck. That is like the McMansion spirit, and this perfectly encapsulates this. And I don't even want to know what this looks like on the inside because we can't see. It's like so funny. Yeah, these two windows up here, like it's like the pause button, but you know, on a house. I mean, the whole house, it's like probably brand new and it already looks like it's falling apart. Like the roof looks like it's sagging, but that could just be Google Images. I don't know what these like weird little appendages are on the side here. I feel like these are also slouching slightly. I mean, it's just so cheap. Just like if you're gonna do a huge, it's like people want more space and they'll do everything to get it, even though it's not practical, like economically or physically. So that is like a cautionary tale. If you're gonna do an addition, be careful, be conscious, put in the extra money to make it something really great, or you might end up in this poor soul's shoes. Isn't that right, Winston? Dog. All right, well, that is the end of our list of our, like I said, okay. Let's see if I can make it here.
It's Greg, if you can hear me. There are 2 other submissions, last-minute submissions, higher up in the chat around 5:30 or so. So if you scroll up in the chat, you'll see a few more.
Okay, let me see if I can stay. Oh, this is cool. This is a Lego. Hold on. Oh, this is so great. Whoever sent me this is fantastic, and I respect it. This is art. This is an art. This is, I feel like this is exactly what I would do if I was going to put Lego together. Just like, The Empire State Building at the bottom is just like so funny. Sorry. That's funny. That's so funny. Kudos to you. Dude, I swear that would like get like so many like likes and retweets on Twitter. Like that's like an insta viral image. It's so funny. It's like it's like you tried, I guess, but also it's like you didn't try, and that's like what's so funny about it. Oh man. All right, let's see if I can scroll up to like 5:30 in the chat. All right. Last minute submission. All right, got one. And then two. All right, let's do this. Oh, we're in Maryland. This is such a classic, like Maryland McMansion. Like they really love like their colonial revival. I like how there's just like a big tree like blocking this like entire wing of this house. Also, they just like stuck on another house here. Really, that it's like this is 3 houses. 1 house here, 2 house, and then 3 house. This looks like Maryland. This almost looks like near my sister-in-law lives. Got a tennis court. That's nice. Vinyl siding on the side. That's classic McMansion move. Of course, it's like 90s tacky. This has like doctor's office vibes. Like I had a shrink who had a waiting room who I swear like looked just like this, without the fireplace, of course. Nice Thomas Kincaid, like paint by the numbers above the fireplace. This is like, yeah, like 90s tacky. People associate with the 80s, but it's really kind of more than 90s. Like the 90s really thought it was like the more sophisticated 80s, and they thought that because if like they toned it down a little bit, that made them sophisticated, but it really just made them tacky without committing to it, which I respect less. This is like the epitome of like a McMansion dining room, right? It's like you got like fake Georgian furniture, that stupid table with these stupid chairs, and it's always the same upholstery on the chairs too. Like it's like they saw one image and we're just like, yep, we got to commit forever. This is like the great room, and yeah, it's just this room is like just proof that like it's like no one has used this. Also, the brick veneer just looks really cheap. Open sunroom. That's nice, I guess. Kitchen, such a 90s kitchen. The oak cabinets, the stupid balances, like the ruffled balances. These like goofy like roller blinds. My mom had these on like this on the screen porch when I was a kid, which we later enclosed to turn into an office. Because my dad worked from home. And then yeah, these kitchen country cabinets with like where they keep the plates, totally 90s. OG farmhouse sink though, like back in the day style farmhouse sink. Nice stove. What's in? Shut up. Man, I can't wait for quarantine so like the dog stops going crazy. Got a bunch of decoys there, which I respect as a bird lover, but disrespect as someone who is a bird lover. I don't want you to shoot the ducks, except for the mallards. They're overpopulated. Let's see. Duck is delicious. Okay, I know. I'm like a attempted and regularly failing vegetarian. Let's see here. This is such a bland living room, but again, like this is just like 90s like Martha Stewart country aesthetic. It's funny because the soaking tub has come back, but this is like the OG like soaking tub was like the Martha Stewart farmhouse soaking tub. Those who do not remember history are doomed to repeat it. All right. I see what 1.2 million it's like 2 million. What will $2 million buy you in Columbus, Ohio? Something extremely ugly. Let's unpack this one here because I think this is worth it. Got like your whole garage house over here, and then like okay, there's like 3 roofs here, and they're all kind of colliding in a way that doesn't make sense. And there's like a side gable sort of interrupted by a chimney. Terrible. They're doing like the de boeuf, the bullseye, sort of window up here. They got an ahoy matey and it's cut off by the cornice. I can't tell if this is crenellated, but I sure hope not. Then they've got like this weird Disneyland turret, which sure is just wonderful on the inside. Yeah. Then it got like just like nesting roof masses over here. It's really terrible. Ugh. Nothing on this house matches like at all. It's like also like trying to do like Tudor medieval chateau. It's like not great. I love when this happens where they're just like, okay, but we want extra light. We have to route our structures. Oh, sorry, I pressed the button. But we have to route our services somehow. So I guess, or we have to have structure or something that holds the house together is why this looks the way it does. Also, classic like outside pillars, inside. I guess this is technically a conversation pit, which adds like 1 degree of cool, but it's like really not cool. Terribly sparse great room here. I don't get the deal with like the herons, but I respect that. I would like the heron. I like the herons. I'll vouch for them. French country kitchen. They couldn't even like bother to like do a cabinet here. They're just like, yup, it's drywall and it's painted with like a skinny mantle on there. Just like, ugh, so bad. Mirrored kitchen backsplash. Folks, previously unsaid sentences in human history. Yeah, this is so tacky. The island, I actually think the island is like kind of nice. If you're gonna do rustic, you might as well like stop painting it. It doesn't, like, the wood is exposed. Okay, wood floor on the ceiling, classic. We've got big curtains that may or may not close, classic. McMansion rug in tan, not red, but still classic. I feel like the velvet Chesterfield overstuffed is, that's just not my vibe. Sorry. Let's see. Man, they like had to put like, again, like all of this like Hilton hotel lobby furniture. Like that's like, people go to hotels and they're like, oh, I had a nice time. I want my house to look like this. Like, don't do that. Don't fall for it. Hotels aren't real life. I know, I fell for that this past weekend when I was staying in Chicago. They had this like queen size day bed, and I was like, yo, did they even make a queen size day bed? Like, that's cool. And I was like, what? I can't fit a day bed in my room. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't, like, the room is narrow. Like, putting it against the like long wall doesn't make any sense. But for a second, I was like, the hotel decor should be in my house. Don't fall for it. It is a trick, a deception. Again with the herons. Hope that one's not stuffed. It looks like it's glowing. Kind of ominous. Ominous. Everything in this house is overstuffed. It's like the breadsticks at Olive Garden, except for like, the stuffed ones, not like the ones they gave for free. Those are good. Dual monitor on your clawfoot desk. Previously unsaid sentences in human history. Just like having a dead cow on the ground and on my chair, like normal. See, like, I can't, the pictures are so low res, I can't tell if this is like couch ruffle or couch fringe. But I really hope it's couch fringe, because this would make this like the assless chaps of like couches, which, yeehaw, I don't know. Kind of respect that. Oh, it is definitely couch fringe. Very short-lived movement in couch history, but yikes. I don't know why they made, I guess this is the dishwasher disguised to look like drawers, but this is quite the bar. Man, even I don't have that much liquor, and I'm like the martini goddess. I like how this is where they put the Wi-Fi router too. Like, I respect that. Oh, it's not going to get anyone's way. I don't know if this is like a cutout headboard, but it's really weird. Again, the McMansion rug in like round form. Like, love having like a crappy like Bed Bath and Beyond nude above my bedroom fireplace. Bet that goes over well with the marriage. Oh my God, freedom alert! Freedom alert! We got we're reaching maximum freedom here, folks. Excuse me. Maximum freedom. I can't tell you how it gets any more free than this, folks. If I had a hat, I would take it off. Alas, I do not have hats. I guess this is the master bedroom. They just put the ugly nude in there for the other folks. Barrel vaulted master bedroom ceiling. Normal thing to have. Man, this is such tacky McMansion furniture. It's like meant to look like it's really old, but yet distinctly looks like it's from the 1990s. Like, how did they do that? I love this. It's like fringe chairs with like, they put like a stuffed ottoman and then they put like a candelabra on there. It's like, doesn't look very stable, but again, I didn't stage this house. Okay, his and her sinks. I guess this is, I don't have a joke here, actually. I feel like this just looks like a weird, like, Restoration Hardware extra. Dude, I see all 4 Twilight books and the Harry Potter books. It's like, but the good news is I can tell that this is a teen's room who no longer lives here, which means they have outgrown such consumption. I hope they're reading, like, Tolstoy now. Dude, is it weird to have, like, a Jimi Hendrix wall mural with, like, real life guitar? He died at 27, right? I feel like this is not okay. Man, dude, John Baudrillard would have such a field day with this. If only he were alive to see this. I guess this is the other kid's room with, like, a whiteboard where I guess they're trying to do math or something. They got, like, a Knoll office chair in their room, though. Money is wasted on people with bad taste. Meaning, I would take their chair if I could. Okay, so, like, I get they're trying to go for the distressed look, but this looks like a moldy ceiling. Like, this looks like this is about to drop out of the sky and, like, give everyone, like, spore poisoning. At least there's no Godfather poster in here. There's always, like, Godfather posters. Like, Godfather, like, Pulp Fiction. It's, like, just, like, peak, like, middle school boy movies. The Godfather Part 2 is the best one. Wine cellar. What is with wine? Like, okay, so I get, like, conspicuous consumption, right? Like, I totally do. Like, I have a gallery wall. Like, that's conspicuous consumption. Yes, that was, like, Corbusier for those of you who caught it quick enough. But I don't understand, like, okay, so, like, I consume alcohol. Like, obviously. But I have, like, a little bar cart for my alcohol. And that is fine with me. I do not understand having an entire, it's only wine freaks that do this. Like, see, we gin people do not have a gin room. Because our alcoholism is a little less societally and aesthetically praised than the wine people. The wine people are like, oh, this is my culture. Drinking is my culture. The martini people, they're like, are you sure you're not an alcoholic? You've had 2 of those in one evening. It's not the same. And I resent the wine people. Like, they have, like, books written about, like, how, like, to pair wine with food. And it's like, a martini goes with everything. Because once you take a sip, you can't taste food. That's what drinking is about. In my opinion. I mean, there's a big range of martini tastes that are good. I can give you my recipe later. But the wine people are just so weird. Oh my God, they have an indoor roller hockey room with brands. With brands. Why did they choose Pepsi? Are they sponsored by Pepsi? Are they sponsored by Nationwide Insurance? Did they just, like, get blow-up brands to put on the walls to make it more authentic? Dude, this is, like, the mind poisoning of American capitalism in a nutshell. Back of the house looks better than the front, which is, you know, McMansion standard. Also, like, I like how there's, like, no yard. All that house, you just got, like, a tiny landing strip here. It's, like, so sad. Man, okay. And of course, there's a stable. Classic. Okay, that's so funny, though. Like, that would be so funny. Like, instant, like, top 10, like, Reddit post. Just saying. You have the power. That's a funny picture that I saw on the internet in this Zoom call. All right, so we got 10 minutes left. Let's see. Let's see. We've got some. It's so funky projects. Let's see. What we could also do is, instead of doing listings, we could also ask and answer questions. Like, would people rather do a Q&A? Would people rather do a Q&A or more listings?
Well, Kate, just to remind you, there's 2 more up at the top as well, but I am seeing some call for Q&A. So yes, I would say with our 9 minutes remaining here, folks, please submit questions if you'd like to ask Kate.
Let's do the Q&A.
I will say the Obama Vineyard House was mine, and Aqua Tower was mine as well for Chicago. And I guess let's put it this way, as a way to kick this off while Q&A comes in. As a new resident of Chicago, storied for its architecture, what is your favorite and most hated buildings in Chicago for that, now that you're headed there?
Oh, good. Oh, this is a great question. I have too many favorites. That's actually really hard. I mean, of course, I like the classics like Marina City. Like, I was close to there where I was staying was like right by there. I never get tired of the corn cobs. And of course, like, I mean, there's like the wealth of like Frank Lloyd Wright houses, which like there's like some really great ones too in Oak Park, like underrated Frank Lloyd Wright houses. Like the Winslow house is totally underrated amongst like Frank Lloyd Wright houses. Definitely like an important like transitional work for him, which I am very, very fond of. It's yeah, there's just so much architecture in Chicago that I just find like totally wonderful. It's I also like the Brutalist house in Oak Park that looks like a tank. That's also a local favorite. I mean, but also every building in Chicago, for the most part, is just like so good looking. Like even just like the average 2-flat or like workers' cottage is just like a wonderful like piece of like American architecture. Just like as a lover of the vernacular, it's like a perfect city to move to. Now, as far as hated buildings, I mean, obviously Trump Tower, Chicago is like really tacky, and I feel like it would have like at least a 30% improvement if they just took the giant Trump off the side of it, and it would just be like another like nondescript skyscraper without that. But it's like that building is just, and it dominates the riverfront. It's so like from all viewpoints, it's really just terrible. Also, like Philip Johnson has a skyscraper that is like the AT&T building in Chicago that is really awful. It's like definitely not as good as like the AT&T building in New York, which is like, also a contested building, but architecturally important, which the one in Chicago is not. So I would say that those two are probably my least favorites. And then as far as also I really like the John Hancock Tower, and I like the Sears Tower. Like, I know that's like totally cliche, overrated. An Aon Tower, like also great. Like, despite like the structural engineering fails and like falling granite, I really like. I think that those are like really great additions to the skyline. And when you come into Chicago from the train from Midway Airport, like you see the Willis Tower, the Sears Tower before you see anything else. And that's like, I mean, it hits home that it's just, I mean, it's huge. It is just a massive, but it breaks it up in a way that is just like so nice and streamlined. And it's like, how do you take something that massive and make it look like not huge? It's huge, but it's also broken up in a way that gives it grace. I mean, I think that that's a major architectural achievement. So that's my opinion. So much to love about Chicago. So excited to live there. I wanted to live there for like 10 years. I promised myself like as an adolescent that I would live there as an adult, and it took a little bit of a delay, but I'm finally sort of realizing that dream. All right, I'm going to ask so I'll ask these 3 questions here since we still have some time, and I'll try to go rapid fire. If we go over, I guess it's not the end of the world because I don't think there's anything after this, but I'm just going to take these 3 questions because I think that they're good. So Bill asks, crowdsourcing price trends on eve of tax deadline. Is the pandemic pushing luxury real estate off a mansion cliff in your housing market reminiscent of 2013? See ad on for Panama, wink wink, on CNBC entitled "Wealthy Homeowners Break for Mansion Cliff." That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I think that like it depends on how well like the recovery goes. I definitely think that like we're set up for a major economic crisis, especially with like all of the millions of people facing eviction in the coming months. I really think that like real estate is now it's not going to be the same as 2008 because the 2008 financial crisis was brought about by very specific financial instruments that I think are no longer as prominent, even though I'm sure most of those like CDOs and stuff still exist, but not like they haven't built like up to like the same level of systemic threat. I think what we're more likely to see is like kind of like like a minor recession, maybe a long recession, but not something that is just so distinctly marked by its interaction with real estate as like the 2008 recession. I think the mansion cliff, it's like 2013, not a great time for real estate. When things were just sort of coming out of the recovery from the '08 financial crisis. I think it's going to be sort of like a stagnation. I think it might be something similar to like the 70s, where there was a lot of emphasis put in like construction as like an economy builder, but whether or not it lives up to that, I don't know. I think that like housing prices are going to go down though. That's just my like amateur real estate opinion as someone who looks at houses a lot. I definitely don't think that, I mean, it's probably going to be a good time to buy if you have the money saved up. That's all I'll say. I wish I had the money saved up, because I would absolutely be buying right now, because they are the houses that I have saved on Zillow for like myself personally, and like what I could afford maybe within 5 years. Like they're slashing prices like left and right. Stuff is like the market and like my price range in Chicago is really hot, so to speak. The price range of like broke people, like writer and like public school teacher budget. So Jacob asks, what is moving like for an architecture critic? Does your own apartment hunt feel like part of your job critique or totally insulated? That's interesting. I can never like really dissect or disconnect the architecture critic from the house hunter. But what I will tell you is the worst part about like being an architecture critic when house hunting is like you see like an apartment, right? And it's like an acute house, and you're just like unable, you will like justify anything. Like crappy like linoleum kitchen floors, like just like dirty baseboards, like kind of like a filthy, crappy apartment. I have justified my whole life, except for recently in this apartment, I have justified sacrifice in the name of living in a building that looks cool on the outside, or has original features like, you know, built-ins from like, you know, the early 20th century, for example. It's like I've justified like crappy heat in the winter, like high utility bills, like so much stuff just to live in like buildings that I think are cool. Queen Anne houses, Sears Craftsman House in 1923, like, you know, just Baltimore row house painted lady from like the 1890s. I mean, I have justified some pretty crappy living conditions for the sake of architecture, and I have learned my lesson, which is don't do that. It's not worth it. So the apartment I'm living in is owned by an architect, and he teaches at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and he redid his house, which he's lived in for 10 years, into apartments. And so it's got like all like European toilets and stuff like that, because it's like architects love that stuff. They love like square toilets. And so it's also good because it's like renting from an academic instead of like a major landlord. It's like kind of more secure. But yeah, no, you can't really turn it off. But it's like, that's the thing. It's like, actually, I love apartment hunting. As stressful as it is, especially on as short notice as I was doing it, it's actually fantastic as an architecture critic, because you get to go into like so many different houses, which is really what it's all about. I'm just like, when you like love architecture as much as I do, like you're very nosy about like what houses look like and feel like in person. That's why we love house tours and stuff like that. But like apartment hunting is just a bunch of house tours of like ordinary houses, which is like quite fascinating for its own, you know, in its own right. So yeah, it's definitely fun if stressful. I'd say it's more of a pleasure than like it's more fun than watching HGTV, for example, which definitely feels like a job now. Like it's a chore to watch HGTV, unfortunately. Except for the Color Splash show. I like that show because the whole premise is just like, let's paint like the mantelpiece lime green. And I'm like, you know what? I respect that. Like, that's cool. At least it's not a white kitchen. Yeah, so Jacob continues to say, one thing I've always found weird about architecture criticism is how it's public critique of usually just the exterior of the private property. That is a problem, especially when you're talking about like residential towers, like Aqua Tower, for example. Like we were both mostly just like limited to like, maybe you'll get to view like a sample apartment, like a model apartment or something, but you're mostly limited to like the lobby and like the outside for residential spaces. Same with commercial spaces. Like they really like don't like to take you like in office buildings and stuff like that. So like they mostly like hire architecture critics to write pieces about cultural spaces, like concert halls, like libraries, like art museums, because like they're porous to the public. Like they're meant to be enjoyed by multiple pairs of eyes. But when it comes to like private property, it's they don't let you see that much, unfortunately, as the critic. And it's funny because I find that to be not fair to me personally. I would like to see a lot more interiors, and it's not just about the exterior, obviously. but the emphasis on cultural buildings in architecture criticism is partly because they're easier and more like expensive and built with public money, and so like they draw more attention, and big architects tend to do them, which makes them targets for architecture criticism. But also because, like, I mean, I went to go tour, like, for example, the Google building in Chelsea, and I couldn't say a thing about that building, even though I saw all inside their offices, all inside, like, their little lounges and stuff like that. I can't say a thing about that building because they made me sign 2 NDAs. So, I mean, it's true also of, like, and also people who do residential buildings, for example, they do not want you, architecture critics, to say anything about it because, like, that could hurt, like, the selling power of the building. I mean, which is unfortunate. So, I mean, as like architecture critics now have way less power than they did like at the height of architecture criticism at like, you know, during late modernism, like in the 70s and 80s. You don't have enough cultural power now to sort of circumvent those roadblocks, unfortunately. Hopefully that will change. Hopefully the architecture critic will be reinstated as like an institution, but some of us, like myself, have had to build new institutions, and then eventually once those are strong enough, you get let into you get the keys to like a print publication, which is what I do now for the New Republic. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that, and I do find it disappointing. I would love to go peep into some Trump Tower condos, you know. What's in the plants bookmark folder? That's okay. Yeah, I can show you what's in there. Plants. This is the trees, shrubs, and woody vines of North Carolina. The early detection rapid response species distribution maps, which is for early detective rapid response for invasive species. This is mostly academic resources. And then Gay Plants, of course, Queer Encounters with Herbalism, which is a blog about the intersection of like botany and queer theory. So yeah, that's what's in the plants folder.
Well, Kate, this is Greg. I seem to have lost my video because my Wi-Fi crashed and I got back on tethering and can't rejoin on video, but I just want to say we're at time. I certainly don't want to stop you if you want to keep going because it's been delightful. This is the fastest 2 hours of my life. But I want to use this moment to A, thank everyone for attending. B, want to thank you. Our final tally for the fundraising component of this is we raised $565 plus 2 anonymous donations.
Oh, nice.
For Moms for Housing. So yes, I would say prorate that out. That's a pretty good consulting rate, you know, at least for
definitely
$280 an hour. That's pretty solid there for that. Yeah. So yeah,
I'd say that's good.
Well, thank you. I would say we at NewCities are indebted to you for that. I would say I'm going to log off now to basically go parent my part of the evening. But by all means, the Zoom floor is yours. Continue as long as you like, or call it a night. It's up to you. But yeah, on behalf of NewCities, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg. I will answer just Mark's question, and then I'm going to head out because I felt it was unfair because he just asked it right when we started. So, Mark, what do you think about the potential of turning shopping malls into affordable living spaces? I kind of think that it's harder to put walls in than it is to take them out. So I would say like actually like the adaptive reuse of shopping malls is more likely to be for things like distribution centers, churches, community colleges, things that sort of we've already seen. Just because of like, as I'm sure all of the housing now people, the housing conference folks know, zoning is difficult and rezoning is particularly difficult. And so I think that like it is perhaps unlikely to see adaptive reuse for malls for residential purposes before seeing them as adaptive reuse for like other things, commercial, industrial purposes. So not that I don't think it's a great idea. I mean, I would live in a mall, like full stop, put me in the Gap. But I think that it's more likely and probably more economical in terms of retrofit for them, for a lot of malls, especially malls built in the 80s and 90s, to see use in like, again, distribution centers, churches, community colleges, technical schools, Winston. So that's my answer to that. So on that note, thank you all for coming. Thank you for raising money for Moms for Housing. And thank you to NewCities for hosting me, and I hope you all have a great night. Bye-bye.